You know what is Islamophobic? Do you know what is Islamophobic? These grocery stores. Because why is it the chicken and the turkey, like frozen foods, are more expensive than the pork frozen foods? Like, that's Islamophobic, bro. And it's like the price for the bulk pork is the price for the small single serve chicken, whatever, turkey. That is Islamophobic.
Really? You come to live in a Western country and you want to complain about what's Islamophobic because pork sells cheaper than beef or chicken. I swear, some of you are just so incredibly, I don't know if it's stupidity, if it's just sheer ignorance or entitlement or whatnot, but all right, I'll play along. Let's pretend I went out to a Middle Eastern country and I went to the grocery store and I want to have myself some bacon, but I can't find it. And I don't expect to find it out there in the Middle East, in any of those grocery stores out there, but would I be sitting there and filming a TikTok video saying, hey, this is like Western phobic? You know, at the end of the day, when you move to another country, to a foreign country, you're expected to at least somewhat assimilate. Now, I'm not saying, hey, come on down to the West and start eating pork. That's not what I mean here whatsoever. But to have the nerve to sit there in an American grocery store and bitching that the pork is cheaper than chicken and beef and stating that that's Islamophobic, what did you expect to happen when you got off the plane and set foot in the United States? Did you think that all the grocery stores were going to change the way that they do things just to fit your needs? You know, normally I wouldn't say this because I think that we should be welcoming out here in the West to people that want to at least partially assimilate, at least come on out here and take on some of the Western culture. But if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to understand the culture out here in the West, maybe you should just take your ass right back to the airport.
You guys, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I just saw on Twitter that they want to put Charlie Kirk on a coin. He hosted a podcast. That was his job. If, God forbid, something were to happen to Trisha Paytas, are we going to put her on the quarter? Tana Mojo kicks the bucket, we're going to put her on the dime? Because they have the same job. They all host a podcast. I don't understand why we're acting like he did something else other than host a fucking podcast.
Men who actually like women don't talk to them like shit. They don't call them piggy, and they don't call them stupid or ask them if they're stupid. They don't do that. Only men who can't fucking stand women do that.
Because if I say women belong in the kitchen, you think I'm being sexist. But if I say that the divine feminine flourishes when women honor their nurturing energy and feminine cycles and choose a soft life of taking care of the family and the home, you think I'm being enlightened, and that's the problem.
One time when I was in high school, I asked my white speech coach just randomly one day, hey, is it boring to be white? And he said, why would it be boring? And I said, well, when I accomplish something, it's a big deal because, you know, I'm female and I'm black. So typically if I accomplish something, it means I've had to overcome some challenges to get there. But when you accomplish something, nobody cares because, you know, everything is built for you. I was like 16, by the way. And he was like, wow, that's really racist. I'm like, no, it isn't. So is it boring to be white because no one actually cares about the things you do? I was genuinely asking, yeah, I've never been tested for autism.
Oh, black people can't be racist. Well, yeah, they definitely can. That was a perfect example right there. If you go through life thinking that you had to work 2 to 3 times as hard as a white person just to achieve something that you were setting out to do, and to just simply assume that the whole world has been paved for people with white skin, yeah, that's pretty racist right there. Everything is always white supremacy, right? That's what it always comes down to. Well, you were born with white skin. Life is just easy for you. I have black skin. Everything is extra hard for me. But you know what? At the end of the day, I can't be racist. I can say whatever I want to say about a white person, but if you speak about me in the wrong tone whatsoever, that's white supremacy. I don't see how when you guys film videos like this and you look them over before you upload them, because everybody always looks over their videos before they upload them, right? How do you not see the glaring issues in the message that you're putting out there? If you want to go through life thinking that the whole world is against you and that white supremacy just controls everything, and if you want to act like you're angry at the the whole world like you're hanging on to some type of generational racism or something. Well, that's on you. If you want to live life angry, nobody can stop you there. But if you're going to be racist, at least have the balls to admit that you're being racist and stop with this bullshit that Black people can't be racist.
Hey, so like $12 billion to bail out a problem that he fucking caused. Genuinely insane. American farming is already failing anyways. And that's just on capitalism, monopolization, Monsanto. Farmers have literally been struggling since COVID. That's why the package to Argentina was bullshit in the first place. But now you're gonna acknowledge that they're broke and they need help. It's too little, too fucking late, man.
Anyone who still supports Trump right now is a PDF file or supports one. And that's it. No gray area.
Put in cages. God cares about men and women being swished away from their home with no court order. God was an immigrant.
Yeah. No, he was. Yes, he was.
God was an immigrant. God is a spirit, and God is
MAGA hats and insurance complaints don't go together, so don't come into the dental office wearing a MAGA hat and complaining about how expensive your insurance is. Suck it up, buddy. It's what you voted for. You better pull some money out of that retirement fund. Hopefully you got one.
I don't know who advised Donald Trump to say this, but I wouldn't have.
For minors, do we love minors? I love minors.
If you are the guy who is right now engaged in a systemic cover-up to protect a pedophile, maybe, just maybe, do not say the words, "I love minors," at a campaign rally. Maybe.
Okay, I can't say I'm shocked here. I'm a little surprised, but I can't really say I'm shocked. Now, that's Brian Tyler Cohen. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who this guy is. He's got 4.92 million followers on YouTube alone. His TikTok account, I have no idea how much. Now, I would expect a grifting video like this out of an average TikToker. But from a big-time left-wing influencer like this guy, that's a real scuzzball move out of you there, Brian. Now, I know you liberals like to take your clips and, snip it down to make it look like Trump said something he didn't. But you guys, here's the full clip.
For minors, do we love minors? I love minors. I don't know how they do it going 10,000 feet under the ground.
Now, you see, I've seen left-wing influencers take Trump's clips and take them out of context, but at least the part that you're waiting for to actually clear Trump up is usually like 15, 20 seconds away, right? This was 3 seconds longer. He said clear as day, digging thousands of feet under the ground. He knew this. When it comes to you liberals out there, now I'm speaking about the actual viewers, Brian Tyler Cohen's audience. Do you not realize that he preys on your stupidity and your ignorance? He's thinking that you guys are too dumb to go out and find the rest of the context of that clip on your own. I mean, why would you guys watch a Trump rally, right? So chances are you didn't see the entire thing. You're just gonna rely on the information he's giving you guys. And he gave you that clip knowing the other 3 seconds what he said. He knew that Trump was talking about minors that dig in the ground, but he's like, hey, I can push this narrative just like all the other lefties are doing out there right now after Trump said this, that Trump likes minors, like minor children. He knows damn well that's not what Trump was saying, but he's relying on his viewers to be dumb enough to fall for it. Absolutely shameful. Brian Tyler Cohen, you're a scuzzball.
I hope you guys know that the actual fucking millisecond that these Trump-loving fucking farmers get a socialist government bailout check, I'm going to be pocket-watching the ever-loving fuck out of them. Because what do you mean, Cletus? Surely you, who lost your fucking mind about the idea of a single mom using her SNAP benefits to buy ice cream for her fucking kid, are not running to the dealership to use my taxpayer money to put a down payment on an $80,000 truck, just like you did last year. Surely that's not what you're fucking doing. You hypocritical motherfuckers don't need to be buying your Carhartt. The off-brand will work, because last time I checked, you motherfuckers were all about anybody on government assistance stretching those dollars to the absolute limit. So you best practice what you fucking preach.
Hey, so if you're a conservative man and my profile says liberal, I don't think you understand. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me. I hate you.
So when you see a gay couple, 2 men adopt a baby, it's cruel and it's abusive, and it's every baby, every child needs a mother. But when an infant's mother is deported by ICE, it's, oh, the child is fine. It has a perfectly competent parent in the father. make it make sense.
Peace.
I would like to know, what does everybody who is living like it's 2019 think is going to happen to them when they reach 10 COVID infections? Nothing? Okay. What about 15? What about 20? I don't know if anyone's actually going to be able to make it to 20 COVID infections, actually. Yikes. The faith in their genetic superiority is wild.
All right, I'm really bumping into some winners here tonight. You know, when she said 10, I thought she said 10 injections. Is this normal? Do you liberals really think it's normal that you catch something over and over and over? Look, I'm not going to get too deep into this conversation here because I know that this platform here is a little bit touchy when it comes to vaccines and viruses and all that type of stuff. But from my own personal opinion, YouTube, and my own personal experience, I never got poked. I caught COVID once. I never caught COVID ever again. I was not careful, and it was not to put other people at risk. I did not fear it. If you had COVID, I would give you a hug without wearing a mask. Now, is that my recommendation for everybody else to go out and do that? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying, once again, just speculation here, YouTube, is that most people that got poked seem to also get sick. Most people that did not get poked maybe got sick once or twice, and it was not really that big of a deal afterwards. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I got hit by what they call COVID, I got hit like a hammer. It hit me really hard for the first 2 days, and I was like lethargic for maybe like 6 weeks afterwards. But did I ever contract it ever again with all these super different variants that kept coming out? Nope. Not whatsoever. But the bottom line here is what I think she's trying to do is she's taking shots indirectly at people that are on the right that don't really believe in masking and getting up to date with, 17 different boosters and whatnot, and throwing it out there like, well, what are you going to do when you keep catching COVID? But what I don't think they're getting here, at least what she's definitely not getting, is we don't keep catching COVID. That's not really a normal thing. You shouldn't be catching it over and over and over, especially if you are so-called protecting yourself.
Fuck a real job. I don't want a real job. I got a degree in music theater because I'm creative and I love theater. I got an MBA in marketing because I knew the benefits of being able to sell yourself, and I know the strategies behind running a business. I've always wanted to do something more than the life of a 9-to-5. I tell you that if you find a job you love, then you never have to work a day in your life, but there's no job that I can think of where I would love to work for the next 40 years of my life working for somebody else. If I'm putting in the work for a job, it better be for my own gain and for my own business, not for a creepy boss and a shitty paycheck.
It's always a man that comments on about my septum ring. I could take it out, right? I could just hide it. How would you know? How would you know if I would hide it? Hold on, one second, show. Does this please you? Will I get a ring now? Oh my God.
Hey guys, when do we say enough is enough? When do we fight back? When do we stand up for our fucking rights in this country? What the fuck are the Democrats doing? Clearly nothing. Get off your asses and fight.
What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What's at the end of this journey? What's the meaning of life? Where are we going as humans? What's gonna happen to us?
And with that line of thinking, you're also responsible for upholding the patriarchy because white women are the actual strongest voting bloc in the country. They just typically choose to side with white supremacy and racism. So by de facto, you see how dumb that sounds? Idiot. This Texas Senate race is going to get real ugly, and black people are still going to come through and vote for whichever candidate gets the nomination. But if Jasmine Crockett gets it, leftists are not going to vote for her because they're already trying to hold her to a standard that is impossible. In the same way they held Kamala to a standard that no other presidential candidate has ever been held to in the history of the country, against who is now going to go down as the worst president in the entire history of the country. And I'm going to be here for every step of the way because, effectively speaking, if Jasmine gets the nomination, she's going to lose because all the racism and misogyny on the left it's just going to continue to go unchecked because, oh, we got to think of, no, fuck y'all. I really don't give a shit. You're either trying to get progress, even if you may not see it because my ancestors didn't get to see the progress they fought for, or just fucking get on board, but you're not going to. So fuck all of y'all. Just fuck y'all.
All right, hold on. Let me get this straight here. So you're thinking that Kamala Harris didn't get in because of misogyny and racism from the left. This was unexpected. And that Jasmine Crockett, even if she was the nominee for the Democrat Party, that she would be blocked because of racism and misogyny coming from the left, because white racist people, again, on the left, don't want to let black people succeed. I guess Barack Obama didn't count, right? It's gotta be a black woman that's the president. I have never seen this where I have a leftist sitting here stating that people on the left are gonna be too racist and misogynistic to let Jasmine Crockett be the next president of the United States. I'm sorry, I kind of have to giggle when I say that because did you ever stop for a split second? Let's just put Kamala out of the picture here for a second, right? Because that's a whole other ballgame that I can get into. But Jasmine Crockett, as the president of the United States, did you ever think that maybe she would not get the nomination, that she would not win the election, and it wouldn't have anything to do with racism or misogyny coming from the left or from the right? Because I really doubt that any leftist, any far progressive leftist would choose any Republican over Jasmine Crockett, even though they know that she'd be a terrible president. Did you ever think that maybe people would just use their brain and realize that she's a shit candidate? She's absolutely god-awful. It's got nothing to do with her skin color. She just is legitimately ghetto. She does not belong in Congress. Texas should be embarrassed having her represent them. Name one piece of legislation that Jasmine Crockett has put her name on that's actually done something positive for any citizens in the United States of America. The most impact that she's had since she's been in Congress has been on the Breakfast Club. To the black community out there that may have the same frame of thought as this woke individual right here, what you're doing is you're putting your skin color on top of the proper candidate. You got to pick the person who's going to lead your country to prosperity. You liberals out there think like, hey, it's ridiculous how Donald Trump speaks to reporters, how he sits there at the Resolute desk and talks to people. How can we have a president that speaks this way? Can you picture Jasmine Crockett with her ghetto language speaking to other world leaders? I'm sorry, but at least Kamala Harris, she can actually hold some professionalism. Sure, she can barely put two words together properly, but at least she can actually hold a level of professionalism. Jasmine Crockett, whole different ballgame. Why don't you take your heads out of your asses and just admit to yourself that she is a terrible candidate, she would make a god-awful shit president, and no way in hell would she ever even get the nomination for the Democrat Party. And no, that's got nothing to do with racism or misogyny coming from the left. All right, guys, that is it for me. No more libs for me tonight. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys.
For my people who still mask in this post-COVID world, are you fed up yet that you work more because you get sick less? Because I'm fed up that I work more because I get sick less. When my coworkers get sick because they don't mask, and I don't get sick because I still mask, I end up picking up more work that they can't do because they're out sick because I mask. I am health conscious, not just for myself, but also for the people around me. And what that means for me, especially in the workplace, is that I work more because I get sick less. And it bothers me because at minimum, you would think that, okay, I would like to get sick less. I would like to also protect the people around me so they are not getting sick along with me. You know, just basic human courtesy. But I'm really getting tired of working more because I get sick less. Like, I have a coworker who just got sick out of the office because they're sick, and I'm starting to get more cases because that person is out sick. So I'm a little salty about that. But is anyone else fed up about this? Because I'm fed up about this. Like, why can't people continue to mask? And for those people who only mask when they're sick or when they're coming back from being sick and they know they're still shedding, why not just continue to mask so you get sick less? I'm not understanding the disconnect, because this is do the math. The math's not mathing.